it is my honor to introduce Jane. Jane is a mother, a leader, and a widow from Kibera, the biggest slum settlement in sub-Saharan Africa. She's the founding director of Polycom Girls, an organization contributing to the empowerment of over 10,000 women and girls annually. Jane came to the slums from the village at the age of 18 when she got married, of course, overcoming the many challenges of the urban slum to become one of the most influential grassroots women, which of course is what Deb is all about bringing together. Jane has convened 8 women-led urban thinker campuses around the World Urban Campaign, one of the 120 global policy unit experts contributing to the UN's new urban agenda. She created the award-winning Talking Boxes of Kibera to collect data on sexual harassment and other issues affecting adolescent girls in Kenya. Her slogan is Gipende, meaning self-love. She believes that when you love yourself, you take care of yourself, and you don't let anyone or anything bring you down. She's been a speaker at the UN in Nairobi, in New York, several World Urban Forums. Some remarkable recognitions for Jane include Vital Voices 100 Fellow, UN Women's Civil Society Advisory Group, Woman Peacemaker, Millennium Milestone Maker, and one of the 10 most influential Kenyan women that met President Obama in October 2015. She was featured in an award-winning documentary, I Will Not Be Silenced, receiving the Outstanding Leadership Award and Community Peace Builder Award. She was nominated as an International Woman of Courage, and she is now an exquisite 262 woman. She is going to talk about from her tiny slum room to the world. Jane, welcome. We just, again, want to say thank you so much for all of you being here, and what an incredible story that Jane is going to be sharing. I will share with you some ways that we can support Jane to eradicate poverty through provision of compassionate baskets for child-led families, widows, and older single women. So she is actually, I think you can donate a certain amount that will create a compassionate basket for these women. A donation of $35 gives a compassionate basket, which has some cooking and kitchen needs, also soaps and sanitary pads. $75 donation gives some clean lighting and cooking, and an annual health and benevolence insurance. And there's even a way that you can give a micro business loan for business startups and boosts for only $100 to help a woman. It's like teach a man to fish, right? Like give her the support, the ability to start her own micro business. And for $100, I mean, talk about the legacy that could create.
Thank you so much, Angel, for the beautiful introduction. I'm happy to be part of these great women and the big conversation. And before I start, I just want to tell each one of you, Happy International Women's Day. Let's learn to celebrate ourselves as women. We are our best. We just have to learn to celebrate ourselves as women. Many times we don't celebrate ourselves as women. It took me quite a long time to learn to celebrate myself. But right now, I do celebrate myself. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So who is this Jane Anyango? First, I want to tell you that I was a teenage mother. So at the age of 18, I got married and started my life in the slums, which was very complicated for me, having been brought up in the village. But I decided to put up and continue with my life. I remember then I would write a lot, and the title of my writings was Not My Life, because I refused to live the life. I refused to accept the life that I was living then. I refused to accept the sharing of very dirty toilets, which was really depressing to someone like me. I refused to accept the life of some at times going without food. I refused to accept the life, living a life without electricity, and always very worried about, you don't know what is coming into your house, because the slums is really full and very much congested. But I have grown to be the person I am today. I am a slum woman who has used her experience to change lives of so many women. I mobilize, organize, and empower women on several issues. I believe in women working together. At some point, I was working with over 800 women, and that is the time that I was recognized by United States Embassy in Kenya to visit the US for an international visitor leadership program. And how did we bring all these women together? We had a post-election violence in Kenya. And as usual, people, it was about the people against the police. But I was out there trying to find out the children who had lost their parents during the post-election violence, because nobody was talking about them. Everyone was talking about the properties that had been lost, the lives that had been lost, but nobody was talking about these children who had lost their parents, and the country was so much divided. But what happens in the slums is that you cannot live alone. The way our houses are organized is that if I'm talking, then my neighbor is able to hear me talking. If they're cooking their food, then I'm able to smell their food. If their children are unwell and not able to sleep, then they are making noise for me. I'm also not able to sleep. So we have each other. We cannot be divided along tribal lines the way Kenya was divided then. So we got together and just mobilized women and told them that, as women, we must just rise beyond these divisions that are created by human, because whichever way, we have so many things that bring us together as opposed to things that divide us. And we started meeting as women. We started just a few of us. With time, women noticed that we were there and we were speaking and we were being listened to by the entire country, because our stories would be featured in the media almost every day. So we became so many. Women would meet every Saturday. We met in an open ground, and we just talked about the reason why we should work together as women. The reason why we can't allow anything to divide us. So that is the first time I got my recognition and managed to travel to the US. It was very tough for me again, as just coming from the slums and then getting to the US. You can imagine that culture shock, because I wasn't prepared. I think the embassy, even the staff at the embassy, could not believe that a woman from the slums would be given this opportunity. So I was never prepared. When I got to the US, it was tough and very frustrating, but I learned something. I learned to, just to read and to find out what is happening in our surroundings, and just to get the right theme to be able to talk about when I'm going into spaces. And so far, I've been able to really organize. Right now, I'm working on letting go of this organization that I have led for it's 20 years. We are 20 years this year. And the reason why I'm letting go of this organization is that, most of us work until we are not able to work. I'd like to start taking care of myself as opposed to taking care of others. I started from zero. I started without a phone. I started without not even any salary. I would starve, yes. I would really have a very tough life, but I still had to take care of people around me, because many people were looking up to me. So what I'm looking at is that I have so many women who have worked in spaces like where I am today, and they retire in poverty and very miserable. I don't want to get to that. I still want to live when I'm a little stronger and able to take good care of myself as I organize myself. So the reason why it's very important for me to share my story, and my dream is that I'll be sharing my story, is that when I grew up in the village, I lived the life of the normal village girl. I fetched firewood, I fetched water, I collected firewood, I used the three stones that most African women use to cook. And with that, I have a lot of stories to share. When I got to Kibera, I got into the slums in that very small house with the mud walls. And I still survived that and learned a lot from my neighbors. I was still able to bring women together, women from different tribes. Anybody from Kenya will tell you how much we can be divided. And another thing is that I am from the tribe that is mainly opposition, but I've always allowed myself not to be influenced by politics. I never tell people my political stand, but I vote. I use that vote of mine. I vote to a person. I don't vote for a political party. I don't vote for a political party. I don't vote for my tribe. I vote for someone with serious issues to share with me. And that one makes me very unique, because many people don't really understand. Others, when they hear my name, they always think that I am in the opposition. I have risen from that local woman without electricity in her house to be a woman who is able to access international spaces, working with people like Kathy and working with just other women who have held my hands. If you want, mostly women or maybe people have people to hold their hands. They have their godfathers, they have people who just expose them to spaces. I have been able to work very, very hard to access people and to maintain the networks I have. I'm proud to say that I am currently a global influencer. So many people ask me several things, and I just want to go into storytelling and to be able to tell my stories in the slums, the experiences I've had in the slums, the experiences I've had mothering thousands and thousands of girls. Anytime I come out there, and then you see the number of people coming out just to say, hi, Mom Jane, how are you doing? The number of International Women's Day greetings that I got today, the number of people who come into my inbox and just tell me, Mom, we hope you're doing okay. I'm just so much inspired. And I feel that there's just so much that I'll be able to share. I'm also a very positive person. I don't allow anything negative get through to me. I use anything negative that comes to me to build myself, to always make me stronger. I remember one time I went to a meeting and these people were organizing a big event. And it was so interesting the way one woman just came out and say, you know what, you cannot invite women from Kibera to this meeting because there's no way you're going to bring the C's and the D's where the A's and the B's are talking. And people were just shocked. Everybody was looking around. Hey, do they know that Jane is here? Jane is going to feel bad. But I never felt bad. I chose to understand her because for a woman to talk like that, for a woman to look at herself as A and a B and others are C's and D's, they need empowerment. They don't need to be shut out there because at the end of the day, we need everyone in the room. So I'm a very positive person. I always listen when people are saying negative things about me, when people are saying negative things about my community, when people are saying, just those negative things, because I feel that those are opportunities presenting themselves for people to talk and learn from each other. Otherwise, I'm so happy. I feel very much honored to be part of this conversation. I feel very much honored to talk to these powerful women here today. I'm free. If there's anything that anyone wants to ask me, I am right here. I'm able to hold people together. I'm able to tell my stories. I'm just a very excited woman. And as Angel said before, my slogan is Jipende. Jipende is a Kiswahili word meaning self-love. Love yourself. When you love yourself, you don't allow anything to get through to you. You don't allow somebody's problem to, somebody's attitude or negativity to stop you from doing your positive stuff. Otherwise, thank you so much, women. Feel free to ask me questions. We have survivor centers in Kibera. We have educational project. And by the way, in Kenya, you listen to them sponsoring kids to go to school. They look at bright children from poor families. I believe that every child deserves to go to school. It's not about being bright. Anything can happen to you as a woman. Anything can happen to you that brings you down, that does not allow you to pass your exams. But we need to empower and uplift everyone. Otherwise, happy International Women's Day, everyone.
Wow. I'm Jane, thank you so much. And here's the beautiful thing. Your message is so powerful. I'm glad that everyone got to see your beautiful face so that as you were talking, we had something to identify that to. But even if we hadn't, even if you just came in like you are right now, your voice is so powerful and so calm and so poetic that don't you feel like you know her? Like in the 15-20 minutes that she spoke, don't you feel like she has encapsulated really her experience of being a woman and sharing that on International Women's Day? Completely blown away. And I just think how grateful we are. I know that in reading your bio that you've been able to help 10,000 women a year. Like, wow, 10,000 women. And if what Angel was talking about, how those women open up their hands and their doors. And one of the most beautiful things that I remember Jane sharing was when me and her and Kathy were in a conversation, how they went to what we would consider an elder, a woman who was in her 80s or 90s celebrating her birthday, and just sitting in that space and hearing that woman share was just golden. And that's how I feel today. And Angela, I'm going to hand this over to you. How are you feeling, my friend?
What a perfect person to kick off our day today, right? To just, I mean, I think so many women have, like, you've heard the phrase first world problems. Like that's, I think a lot of us have lived in a place of privilege, of yeah, a real place of privilege. And even though here we are here today to really stand up for women's right, for accessibility, for inclusivity, right, to have a woman who's actually really walked that walk for us, I feel really humbled. And like there's so much more that we can all be doing to make a difference. And Jane, thank you so much. It was so empowering, but in a soft, feminine way, right? And I think that's encouraging too. Right, we can still be women, we can still be feminine, we can still be soft, and still be really impactful and make a difference and be strong for other women. Catherine, I think I saw that you had your hand raised. Did you want to make a comment about?
I did, because Jane is always so modest, I think, in some ways, because the programs that she has instituted and she and her organization have instituted in Kenya are just incredible. Teaching girls about menstruation in communities and cultures that don't talk about it, teaching them the hygiene around that, making sure that they have the resources they need to study. And because so many times the young girls are left at home to do the work. The boys go out and do work and hopefully, to make money, but the girls are left to, fetch water, to clean, to just do household chores. And so they often miss out on educational opportunities or just opportunities to learn some programs or some skills. To me, that touches my heart, because those are, yes, we are women and we're still working hard in solidarity for women's rights, but to bring up new generations that will then take over. And she didn't really say this, but one of the people that is very active in her organization now and is in leadership is her daughter. So she has lived this, she has taught new generations, she's bringing women along. And to me, that is just the essence of what we need to do and why we celebrate International Women's Day.
Nicely said, for sure, Catherine. And I think as women, don't we do that? Like we downplay the impact we make in the world. Like there's just something about us not wanting to draw attention, feeling like we're bragging, right? But really as women, like we need to shout that. And when women make a difference and stand up, I mean, we're still seeing it today. We're still seeing it across, all industries, that when a woman stands up and steps up, like we almost play a back seat to it, because when it's like the crabs are just out there like pulling us down. And I don't know if you've ever heard that crab analogy basket, right? Where the fishermen, I'm not a fisherman, I'm a true indoorsman, but where the fishermen go and when they get a couple crabs in the basket, they don't even have to keep a lid on it, because the other crabs in the basket, if anybody tries to climb up to elevate to escape, right, from the slums, right, the other crabs come in and pull them back down. And haven't we all seen that in the workplace, in the industry, at the Emmys, right, at the awards, right, like in Hollywood, and like everywhere we have seen this, where a woman steps up and has a voice, and the attackers just kind of come in and claw to grab them down. And so if we can all step up, I love the theme, right, for our summits here, right? Show up, stand up, speak up, and really support up, right? Let's support our other women when we see them doing good things, and don't let the gritchy, right? Like if you're gritching about it, like you're part of the problem, right? Like let the women let people, humans, do what they need to do to make a difference in their own lives. So I think it was fantastic. Kathy, thank you. Thank you so much.